kill someone. Always trust my gut. Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror film trailers.
Today we will be reviewing the trailer for the upcoming Last Voyage of the Demeter, directed by André Overdahl and written by Bragi F. Schutt, Zach Olkowicz, and Bram Stoker, set to make its theatrical debut on August 11th, 2023. Let's preview that trailer.
We call him Dracula.
He's coming! Did you see the size of that bloody thing? I'm gonna kill the cursed thing.
He is on this ship, which means that we will never leave it.
The devil is real. May God have mercy on us all.
Wow. So
Okay.
that was the trailer.
Yeah, that was the trailer.
And this is my review right here.
2 knocks.
So for those who don't know, The Last Voyage of the Demeter is a chapter from Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's one of the more mysterious and horror-filled chapters of the book.
So when I first heard that they were making a movie on the captain's log of the book Dracula, I was very excited because I remember reading that chapter, feeling like it was one of the more creepy chapters of the book. We both read Dracula at the same time when we were traveling, backpacking throughout Poland, not Romania, but near enough, right? No, not near enough.
We were in Eastern Europe.
We
were traveling in a coffin as well. I had a backpack full of earth. So when we first saw this trailer, we were actually pretty excited because we were like, is that from... Actually, I think you recognized what it was from. I was just like, there's a horror on a boat. It's like a bad thing.
Another bat in a boat movie.
Yeah. I used the trailers in the movie theater to get all of my sassy comments out. I feel like I won't get yelled at as much.
Yeah, but then I feel like you're giving permission to those around us. We're like, oh yeah, this guy likes to talk. Me too.
No, I'm dead silent.
And then
in
we
movies.
always end up next to the talkers who want to talk about their day.
Exactly. What are your initial reactions to the trailer?
Now that I'm rewatching it, I felt slightly less enthralled than when I first saw it.
Why?
Because I really noticed that kid.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh man, why
I
is
don't
there a
think it was in
kid?
the teaser trailer, though.
Was the kid not in the teaser?
So the thing about the chapter of The Last Voyage of the Demeter, this is a spoiler for those who haven't read Dracula.
I think it's like chapter 7, so it's pretty near the beginning, so
Yeah.
get on it. So the chapter starts with an eyewitness account. Maybe he's a reporter or something, and people could see the boat, I think, from a pier, and they're like, oh, there's nobody on the boat except for it looks like there's somebody at the helm, but he's just kind of listlessly swaying back and forth. So obviously the guy at the helm is dead. And so that's so creepy, knowing that these people who are watching this boat come in to port is being sailed by nobody. And then you get the captain's log. So I think that the person who initially had the eyewitness account of the boat coming in, he goes onto the ship and he finds the captain who has tied himself to the helm.
That's the first thing that kind of struck my interest about the trailer is they set up all of these characters. Clemens seems like the main character. And then you have this little boy and then some other characters. And you're like, okay, I think like...
And you're like, are these in the book? I don't think they're in the book.
Yeah, I mean, they have to like write in some characters. They have to write in the crew and the backstory and all that.
I mean, in the book, they start out with, I don't know, like 5 people part of the crew. And then there's the captain, the first mate, somebody else.
Yeah.
But there's no kid, no big sister.
Right. They're introducing these characters that seem like characters that should survive. But if you've read the book, you know that nobody survives.
Yeah.
So are they going to change the story?
I kept trying to give it creative license. Like, okay, maybe this boy and his sister or very young mom were stowaways on the boat And it's possible that they averted the attention of the captain, so they didn't make it into the captain's log. Maybe. Not that I'm a purist. I'm okay with people having their creative license. When you see a kid in a movie like this, you're like, very rarely are they going to make that kid die. So
I don't know. Lately, they've been killing off kids in movies. It's
they
been
have
the
been
shock
killing
factor.
kids in movies. This
Yeah.
doesn't seem like the kind that's going to do that. It seems like the kind that's going to make this kid either live on as a vampire or live as a human.
Or maybe they find the captain's log and they do like a little passage so that they can connect it to the book. And the little kid's like hiding in a barrel of, I don't know, rice
Seeds.
or something.
Yeah.
Salted
Clay.
meats.
Salted meats. Yeah, ew.
Something like that.
Contaminating all the salted meats.
Yeah. And, you know, it's also funny that it seems like you can't have a old-timey story about a boat without having some sort of stowaway.
Yeah, you need some stowaways. So, okay.
Were there ever not stowaways on
They
these boats?
evaded the captain's attention. So, yes, there's a boy and his big sister and their lovable dog. It's not Dracula.
Wait, the dog's a stowaway?
The dog's a stowaway, too. It's the boy's dog. He's like, come on, buddy.
I saw some other dead animals. They must be transporting
Yeah.
livestock, you know, all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, and I think in the actual captain's log, they're transporting boxes of something.
But it's actually Dracula.
It's Dracula.
Dracula definitely looks like the Nosferatu
He
Dracula.
does look more
Pointy
Nosferatu.
ears,
Very naked.
very pale.
Yeah, lots of skin showing.
Yeah, not wearing a tuxedo.
No,
not
he's
classy.
not
and
dapper.
debonair.
Definitely not Christopher Lee on this boat.
Not Bela Lugosi.
No, he's more like one of those creatures from The Descent.
Is there anything else that struck your attention on this trailer? Something that
know-
you might like about the movie?
It's probably not in the movie, but I actually did enjoy that Smashing Pumpkins issue.
And that really broke it down for me. Despite
Yeah,
all my
just-
rage, I'm still
just
a
a
rat
in a cage.
Yeah.
Who's the rat? Dracula?
Dracula is the rat.
You feel for Dracula in this song.
Yeah. So you want Dracula to survive.
Yeah, he's got a lot of rage, but he's still just a rat, just trying to break out. But he's getting stifled by this little boy,
Yes.
this dog.
How do you think you're going to feel about the element of horror on a boat?
I kind of like horror in confined spaces because you have to think more creatively than just running. It's not a zombie movie where you can just run out into the world. And
So is it like an Event Horizon?
kind of like an Event Horizon, but
yeah.
on a
And it-
sea ship
Seems like they're setting this up to kind of have a little bit of a slasher element to it.
because he's slashing all the livestock.
Well, he's slashing the crew members
Yeah, one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And livestock, you know,
Yeah, just spot it.
appetizer.
Yeah, just get it in there. Yeah. Early days on the ship.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that they're going to first find the dead animals. And
That's
then,
weird.
Yeah. And then some like lowly deck swabber is going to get it next.
Yeah. And they're going to have misguided blame. Like, who did it? Who was overly hungry and went beyond their rations and killed this pig?
Did you recognize any of the actors?
I did. Okay. So the main guy that plays Clemens, Corey Hawkins, I recognized him from The Walking Dead. Just a few episodes. He got out quick when he was in Straight Outta Compton. I
Who
think.
was he in Walking Dead?
Heath.
Oh, good old Heath.
Good old Heath. He had
Heath,
the glasses.
where'd you go, Heath?
When no one knows. Yeah, I recognized him. I was like, oh, that guy. And I recognized the face of David Dastmalchian. He was in Suicide Squad. And I think he was also in Dark Knight.
Actually, yeah. Okay, so I know who you're talking about now. He's the guy who is one of like Joker's minions.
Yes.
And he was just in a movie that we recently saw.
The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman. He has kind of a creepy face.
He's got a unique face, a unique, dark, brooding look.
Yeah.
That also looks kind of childish at times. So he has a really interesting look.
What are your predictions for Last Voyage of the Demeter? Do you think it's going to hold true to the book?
No. Based on the preview, no. It's going to be fast and loose with that one. I'm thinking Clemens and the big sister and that little boy, the three of them are going to feel like outcasts. And so they're going to form a bond together and try to help one another. And the rest of the crew is going to be food for Dracula. Clemens, I think, is going to sacrifice himself and be that role of the captain that ties himself to the helm.
That's funny. I actually thought the same exact thing because I thought, like, are they setting up Clemens as the main character to be a quite noble character?
Yeah.
He's
very heroic.
Yeah. He's like the outsider on the boat, and the crew is questioning him because of his ethnicity, race,
And his education.
and they're like, you
They're
look
like-
like a learned man.
They're like, how are you educated? Yeah. So
He's like Oxford.
Oxford, really? Is that where
Something like that, yeah. Everyone who's educated in England goes to Oxford.
Why was he in Romania?
He's a world traveler. He's,
Yeah.
traveling around. He's studying Dracula and the effects on the human psyche.
So he already knows about Dracula.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a Dracula hunter.
Good thing he's on this boat then. Need that guy.
All right. Terrible prediction number 1 from me.
I like that we both think that he's going to be the one that sacrifices himself, because in the book, the captain that ties himself to the helm is very noble.
Right.
And
what about this lady? Do you think she's going to survive?
Oh, I don't know. I'm so bothered by this pair, this lady and this little kid. I'm like, why are they there?
Why couldn't they have just had a bunch of these bearded crewsmen who are just gonna get slashed left and right? Why do they have to introduce characters that we might actually like and root for against Dracula?
Oh, I don't think I'm going to root for them.
Oh.
I'll root for Clemens for sure.
Okay.
And maybe Wojciech, the
captain?
David Dastmalchian. I think he's going to be the one that everyone wants to blame for the murders. Like, oh, it's that guy.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking that it's going to be like someone is responsible for the murders on the ship.
Yeah. So I think the crew is going to be like, well, we don't believe in Dracula.
Yeah.
We're going to blame this guy that looks like a weirdo.
Yeah.
David Dastmalchian,
Yeah.
aka Wojciech. And I think they're going to try to like throw him overboard. And Clemens is going to be like, no, you don't know it's him. I'm noble and I'm going to give him a chance.
I like those predictions, and I like the fact that it's going to have this sort of like paranoid element where the crew is infighting and throwing people overboard.
Yeah. Someone's definitely going to get thrown overboard.
Yeah. Maybe they throw Clemens overboard and then he swims to shore.
Swims to shore.
Yeah, 2,000 miles.
Where do you think they are? They're just skirting the coastline.
They're
all the way to England.
Exactly. Yeah, they're in the English Channel. People have swam across that thing.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe he does get thrown overboard and he gets saved by the girl and her brother.
I think we're onto something. This is kind of where the movie's going to stray from the book, whereas the book was brutal and there were no survivors.
One by one, they get picked off.
Do you think Dracula is going to survive?
Yeah, he's got a whole book to live up to.
Well, I'm saying if they're straying from the book, maybe they kill off Dracula.
They kill off the Dracula that's on the boat, but not before he bites David Dastmalchian.
But Dracula's like top dog,
That's true.
So no, they're not going to kill off Dracula.
They can't kill off Dracula. Yeah. No.
Dracula's he will be warded off, but he will not be killed.
He'll make it for sure, but he will bite somebody on the boat who also gets ashore.
Okay, so you're predicting another vampire, maybe a survivor, and then Dracula. There's going to be like a trio.
Yeah, I think it's a little boy.
A happy family.
Yeah, he's going to bite the little boy, and then that one, like when they get on shore, it's Dracula and the little boy, little buddy, father-son duo, buddy comedy.
That's going to be the Demeter Part 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the poster to see what that looks like. It's very dark. There is the sort of view of the front of the ship with the mast sculpture. An ominous Dracula.
With glowing orange eyes.
Pulling a homegirl from Titanic move.
He's king of the world. That's probably how he feels.
He kind of looks like a Marvel supervillain.
Oh, see, I think he looks very much like a creature from The Descent to me with wings.
Yeah.
Very bony. He needs to eat more.
Well, that's what the crew is for. I mean, that's the purpose of this voyage is it's his snack time.
Yeah. He needs to bulk up.
But it does really focus on Dracula and the ship. There are no other characters. So I like that element of mystery.
Yeah, and I like the fogginess in the background. It's very haunting.
Right.
Blue fog.
So I'm hoping that we're going to get like a very dark and moody movie, just, and then the tagline says the legend of Dracula is born.
This poster actually seems to evoke more of the book feeling for me than the trailer did.
Yeah. If the movie evokes the feeling of that chapter of that book, then I think it'll be successful. Would you put this up in your dorm room?
Would it go in my dorm room?
Would you put the magnet on your fridge?
Did I get it for free?
No, you paid $5 for it.
You know what I would do? If they were handing out paper fans as merch, I'll hold it.
I'd walk by the poster in the movie theater and go, all right.
Good poster.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe take a picture in front of it.
Oh, that's what I would do. I would take a picture in front of it. And I would also hold a paper fan.
That seems like a pretty decent rating for a poster.
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it tattooed on my body. But I will hold some merch that has the poster on it. When are you going to see this?
It's very close to being an opening weekend movie. However, if I happen to be really busy that weekend, it's like a first week in the theater. So I will see it in the theaters eventually.
Yeah.
But closer to opening weekend than later. I'm actually looking forward to this one.
I am looking forward to this one. I do want to see it. I always see the movies of books that I've read.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, how close they get, kind of in a morbid way. Because I know it probably won't live up to the book, but I just want to see how it fails.
Wait, you just want to watch it fail?
No.
I know more about
No.
this movie than the directors.
Someone
I'm sure
did
the directors
not read Dracula.
I'm sure the directors read the book.
Did they? I'm not sure if they did.
They probably studied it.
That's
and
probably
did
not a
their-
qualification. Okay, so I am going to see it opening weekend. Am I going to see it opening day? Probably not, but I probably will see it opening weekend.
Opening weekend. All right.
Yeah, because right
It's
now
a date.
it's coming out August 11th. I don't have any plans at that moment.
All right.
But if, same thing with you,
Okay.
if I happen to get really busy, I don't think it's something that's going to get spoiled for me. It's not like Evil Dead Rise where I felt like I had to go see it opening weekend. And I feel like it was going to get spoiled if I didn't. So
Sounds like a date. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
let's do it. All right.
Last thoughts.
Despite all of our rage, still just rats in a cage.
I agree.
Yeah. What are your last thoughts?
I have pretty high hopes for this one. I'm hoping that they don't stray too much from the book because that was such a memorable chapter.
Thank you for watching and or listening.
And if you like what you hear today, please don't forget to subscribe, give us a rating on whatever platform you get your podcasts.
This has been another episode of
Got it.